friends. Today we are going to learn a very important video on serial control model of SOL 2.0. Friends, before starting to this video, I am clarifying you very clearly that the serial control model of SOL 2.0 is very simple. Once you follow the following steps, you will able to do by your own. So I have made some flowchart in what way you have to proceed. So this is the process I will show you one by one practically. In the first part, you have to create your budget. Then in the second part, you have to define the list of publishers or vendors. And in the third part, you have to give the suggestions who is going to make the request, and you have to give the order process, so on. So I will practically show you one by one in SOL 2.0 how you have to proceed. In the third part, again I'm repeating, you have to give the suggestions, then you have to give the order, and you have to give the details of the payment, and then you have to give the check-in details. For this you have to generate your schedule, and then at the last you have to bind the process, and at the utmost last I will show you how to again reorder your particular journal for the next year. So friends, without wasting much time, let us go and see the things how it will work. Friends, now I will go to the SOL 2.0, and in the first option I will go to the budget. You know friends how to make your budget, because in the acquisition part you know already that budget is very easy, and you have already know how to make your budget. You go under the budget head, you make a budget head. Suppose I am going to make a head under budget head as name called serial. First you give your budget code, and you give the budget description. In the budget description, you give the serial budget 2019. Suppose this is the income budget head. Similarly, you define an expenditure budget head, expense budget head. Suppose I will give a code V6, and I will define. Now I will give the budget description. Suppose this is the national journal. I will expend a particular amount for the national journal, and I will save it. And similarly, I will make another expenditure head for international journal, suppose, and you just save it. That means our budget income and expense head is already now prepared. Now what we have to do, we have to allocate the amount for the income, and we have to again allocate the amount for the expenditure. What we will do, we will select the income head. Suppose the income head was serial budget 2019, which we have made just few seconds before, and I will define the financial year for 2019 and 20. This budget is made, and I will give the amount which we have received. Suppose we have received rupees 10,000, and I'll make it okay, and I'll save it. This is the income budget. Similarly, I have to make an expenditure, and you go to the add button, and you give the financial year 2019 to 20, which you have made in the income head, and you select the income source. Suppose the income source was serial budget 2019, and you see the amount which we have allocated for the financial year 2019-20 is 1 year as rupees 10,000. Now what we will do now, we will select the expense source. Suppose I will expend this particular amount for the national journals rupees. Suppose I will expend rupees 4,000 here for the national journals, and I will save it now here. Now I have defined the financial year 2019-20, and I will make another expenditure source for the international journals. and I will suppose allocate an amount of rupees 5,000. That means we have 10,000 and we have allocated 4,000 for the national and 5,000 for the international. Still 1,000 is left now. So this is the process of making budget. I am quite sure you are aware about this process. Now we will move to the next part called the list of publishers or vendors or binders we have to create. Where we have to go now for this, you go to the option known as serial master and you will get an option called vendor. What you have to do here, you create the publisher details. You put the name of the publishers. This is an example I am just putting for this video particularly, and try to give all the informations available with you. For the part of this video I am skipping some of the field, but when you do practically, what will be my suggestion, you try to give all the details and you select the country and lastly you save it. Similarly, once you have made the details for your publishers, you made another details for your supplier and you put the informations for your suppliers. This is just an example I have set it here for this particular video. Again, I'm repeating, and you just save it. Three things we have to make: one publishers, one supplier, and one is vendor. So we have already made the publishers and we are on the process of making supplier, and lastly we will make the process of binder. You give the details of the binder, who is the binder to whom you are going to place your order for binding. Suppose this is a national binder. This is just a bogus name. I don't know which binder it is. Just for the sake of this video, and then you just save it. So our informations of the publishers, supplier and vendor is now completed. Now what we will do, we will move to the next part of the ordering process. Before order, what we do in the library, we are taking the suggestions. So similarly we will follow the same step here. Now where we have to go, we have to go to the serial control module and not the serial master module. There is two options in serial. Serial master is different, serial control is different. Now we will go to the serial control module and we will go to the option for the new request. Who is going to make the request? So in this request you have to go to the option new request and you give a reference number. This information is available with you. Different libraries have different informations, and I will define a title to which the user has suggested. Suppose this is a title, and again I am repeating that just for the sake of this video I have given a bogus title. This is just for an example, and then I will select the department which have requested this particular journal, and then after that you have to give the name of the particular member who has requested this particular journal. See, the red marks in this menu indicates that this particular field is mandatory, you cannot skip it, and you try to fill up all the informations available with you. You select the supplier which you have made just few seconds before, then you try to select the frequency, whether it is monthly journal or it is an annual journal or half yearly journal. Suppose this is a monthly journal and you have to be very careful while giving the subscription date. Suppose this journal is subscribed from 1st January 2019 to 31st December 2019. For the 1 year this journal is subscribed and it is a monthly journal, that means there will be 12 issues in a 1 year. Give the ISSN number and then you give the physical media. Suppose it is a textual documents, then you select the subject. In this case we are quite sure that this is the subject of library and information science. We are all library professionals, so definitely this is the library and information science. And then you give the edition. Suppose it is a paperback edition, and what budget you have made, you just define it here. We have made a budget, I have already shown, and this budget you have to define now here. Journal 2000, National Journal 1920, because it is the expenditure head now. So you select the National Journal 2019 to 20. So after selecting the budget, we will move to the next part, the currency part. So this is the National Journal budget head. You select the currency as Indian rupee. If it is a dollar, then you put that particular country's name, which currency. Then what is the price of that particular journal? Suppose this is the journal which costs rupees 1000 for the 12 issues in a year. And you check properly that all the informations are filled up properly or not. You have to be very careful in this stage, and this is a data entry process. So don't be complicated here, just save it. Now you come to the next part. If you have some changes in your request, then you can update it. Otherwise, you go for the approval process and you select that particular journal which has been requested earlier and you save it. And lastly, what you do, you approve this particular journal. It is approved by the library committee. If it is rejected, then you write the rejection list. You click on the reject menu. Otherwise, you put approved and you just save it. Suppose it is rejected, then there is another option. You will see re-approved and rejected. You can go another way, but since we have already approved now, so now what we have to do, we have to merge into data. That means the record which we have saved it will merge your existing databases as mark record. So just click it and you save it. So this process is completed. Request part and approval process is completed. Now we will move to the another process of ordering. And what we will do, we will go to the subscription and order process. Give the order number. Suppose I have defined an order number 31. In every library, this order number will be different. And you give the particular informations what they have asked, and you fill up this informations here. Suppose what volume this journal is. We know that in every year the volume number changes. And suppose in this year 2019, the volume number will be 6 to 6 and issue number will be 1 to 12, and delivery mode will be through courier. And you give the price, already it is mentioned here, and you save it. And you remember that none of this information should be blank, and you save it. And you close this process, and then you go for the purchase order part. And you can generate this report through the order number 31. In your case, it may be different. And you save it and you just mail it to your particular publisher or supplier. You can print it also, and you can send the hard copy through your speed post system. So this process is completion now. Order process is completed. Now we will go to the payment process. Once we have order, we will go for the payment process. You cannot go online payment like Google Pay and all, but you can give the details of your payment system now in this part. I have selected that particular supplier where I have put the order, and I will check these informations for verifications whether it is correct or not, and I will calculate miscellaneous charges. If any miscellaneous charges like postage charges or any other charges is included, then you can count and you can define in these options. In my case, there is no any miscellaneous charges, and you give the invoice number as 32. In your case, it may be different, and you save it. Once this process is completed, then you go to the payment process. Similarly, you select the invoice number and you give the details of the payment. And one thing you have to change here, that how much amount you have paid. This is amount payable will be 1000 rupees now. And you calculate, and then through which mode you have made the payment. It is made by a demand draft in my case, and you give the branch name, bank name and demand draft number. And now what you will do, you give the DD number and you save it simply. That means your payment process is now completed. Same process which we have done in the acquisition process. Similarly, in the serial control also we are following the same process. And you close it. Now you can forward your details to your account section of your particular institution. You generate the report by invoice number and you forward this information to your account section of your particular institution or organization. And you also forward this information to your particular vendor also. The letter is already generated. Your work will be only to send it. Now what we will do, we will generate the schedule. What we do in our library events, the journal is coming, we are making some data entry in your register. Similarly, you have to do here same thing. You select this particular journal, which journal you have order, and you generate the schedule for your 1 year period in which month the particular journal will come. And here you have to be very careful again. You check it whether the information which you have given it is correct or not. You can make changes here. And issue volume means 12 issue will be coming for the 1 year. And one thing is very important, the lead time. I actually forget in this video to mention lead time, but whenever you practically do, you mention your lead time. That means within what time the particular issue will arrive. Suppose it will arrive after 7 days, it will arrive after 15 days. This is just for reminder. So the schedule is now already ready. See, volume 6 and all the issues are showing 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 till 12, from 1 to 12. And now you save it. This schedule is now, predefined schedule is now safe. What your work will be here again. Now you go to the check-in details. What we do in your library, once the issues of the journal is arrived, we open your periodical register and we define or we make the data entry of that particular issues. Either we have received or not received. The same process you follow here. This particular journal is received, this particular journal is not received. And you select the status and then you save it. That means I am showing here together, but in your case you have to do one by one. Suppose one journal is arrived today, then it may be received after 1 month. So this process will be in your case after a period of time. You have to repeat these options. You save it now. Once you have saved it, then you can go to the reminder letter. Suppose some journals is not received, then you can go and generate your reminder. So friends, now I will go to the binding part, because we have received the journal, and after receiving, after completion of 1 year, what we do, we generally bind the journals according to the issues. So I'll prepare set number 1. In this set number 1, I will define the which issues will be under set number 1, because there are 12 issues, so we have to definitely we have to make certain sets. And see, this is the issues we have received. Now I will select 3 issues in the set 1, and you define these informations: binding type, binding color, then what will be the first page and what will be the last page, whether you want to index it or not, and embossing text. So this you can put as per your convenient, and you save it. This is for the set 1. In the set 1 we have prepared for the 3 issues. Again, for the set 2, I will again select some more issues. 4 issues I have selected. And the informations which you have given earlier, again you may repeat here, just page number may be different in your case. And after defining all these things, you save it. That means we are preparing the set before giving to the binder. Friends, I know this process is already done in your library manually, so we have to convert this manual process into automated one. Same thing. Now set number 2 is also created, and now what we will do, we will place the order to our binder now. This is the order process, and you give the order number. Every library has its own order number, and then to whom you want to put this order, you just define binder name, suppose national binder, which we have made in the first part, and you select the budget head. Under which budget head you want to put this. Suppose under the binding head I have made, and I will put this order for binding, and you select both these check options, and you check carefully that all the informations are available or not, and you just mention the price. Set price is rupees 100, again second set price is also rupees 100. In your case it may be different, just this is the price of that particular set. Now after saving, the new order is completed now. Then once you have order, you will receive this particular sets as binding, and you give the accession number as per your convenient of your own institutions. In my case, I will give an option 10056 for the set 1 or set 2, or 10,000 suppose, or 10,015, 1,15, 100,015. Give the accession date, the classification number, the location, and the starting page. It is already there. Similarly, you repeat the information. One only thing will be different, will be the accession number and maybe the page number. And you save it now. See, the option is coming, accession number cannot be left blank. Somewhere this accession was blank. So you just be careful about all these things, and you save it now. After this, you go to the invoice process and you generate an invoice. What is the amount you want to put for your binding? You calculate it, and invoice amount for 2 set is rupees 200, and then you save it. Invoice number 39 is created. Now you go to the option for payment. You cannot make online payment like Google Pay or Bill Desk, but you can put the information of your payment here. The paid amount, you have to mention it clearly. Amount payable is 200 and paid amount will be also 200, and then you save it. And now your payment option is completed. You mention the details, and then next part we will be coming to the reminder. Similarly, for the next year, if you want to again order this particular journal, what we will call in our renewal of library journal. So same process, you create a budget and you define your budget head. Means you have to repeat the same process. Just only one thing will be different. I will show you. Not in the budget process, but in the next part of this budget, you have to change the issue number and the subscription date. I'll show you. All the informations will be same. You make a budget head as income. You make a budget head as expenditure for the next year. That will be 2020 to 21. Friends, I am showing this continuation of your earlier part. That means I am going to renew this journal. That is why again I am making the budget. And you save it. And similarly, you go to your budget process and you define your allocation of budget for the next year, financial year 2020 to 21, and you define for the national journal and you define for your international journal. So you may complete this process as per your convenient. Friends, again, this is the third time I am repeating that serial control model of SOL 2.0 is very simple. Once you have to follow this video, you will able to do as of your own convenient. And whenever you stuck somewhere, you may contact me directly. I am mentioning my contact number in this video, 8135018316. You save it and you close it. Your budget is now prepared. Now what you will do, you go to the subscription and you go to the same order process and you go to the renewal option now. Earlier option was renew and you select that particular order number. Earlier order number was 31 na? So you select the order number XYZ publication and 31 order number, and the next new order number will be 32 suppose. That means you have to match the earlier order number with the new order number. Mapping is required here, and the earlier volume number was 6, now it will be 7 now. Other information will be same. It renewal date, you mention the renewal date and then you save it. Some of the fields has been changed. Would you like to reflect the changes in the master? Okay. Now this process of renewal is completed. Now you just go for the purchase order, same process. You give the new order number as 32 and you display it here and you send to your particular supplier or publishers. Same process of payment is the same process which we have done in earlier. You select the name of the publisher or supplier, then you select the new order number and you see whether the information is correctly put or not, and then you calculate if you have any miscellaneous charges and you give the invoice number, new invoice number. Suppose in this case I have given a new invoice number. Then you select your budget head for the 2020 to 21. New budget head is already shown here as National Journal 2020 to 21. So you just save it after that. If you don't have any handling charges, put it 0. If you don't have any postage charges, put it 0. And then you save it. You just close it. Same process, payment process. You select the new invoice number and you define the amount payable will be rupees 1000 here. This is the process of payment. Still you have not paid, that is payment process is there. You have to pay rupees 1000 and then payment date, branch name, bank name, check. You mention all these details and you save it. Once you make, that means your payment is completed now. You save it. Then you may forward this to your account section or you may forward this to your vendor also. Same process which you have done earlier. There will be only 2 changes in your renewal process. Your order number will be different, your volume number will be different, and your subscription date will be different. Now what I will do, I will go for the schedule generation here and I will generate the schedule for the year 2020 to 21. You select this particular journal and you see you have to change the particular information here now, because this volume number is already changed in the just previous step. What we have to do, I have defined here lead time. C lead time is 10 days. That means after 10 days if particular issue is not arrived, then it will send a reminder to this particular vendor or supplier. And their subscription date you have to be very careful, because earlier it was 2019, now it will be 2020. 1st January 2022, 31st December 2020 will be the new subscription renewal date. Issue total number of issue will be here 12. After completing all these informations, you just save it. Remember that don't blank any informations. Generate the schedule first and you save it. Schedule updation of title is done now. Then you go to the check-in details. That means whenever the new issues are coming, you open this option and you select the particular journal and you select the particular issue which has been arrived and you define the status whether it is received or not. That's all. Means you have to do your work only in this menu. After defining all those earlier steps, for the year, for the 12 issues, you have to work in this option. Once the particular issue is arrived after 1 month, you open this option and you define here. And you save it. So, in this way, you will able to complete your task for the serial control model. Friends, so again after this, you may start your binding process. So, I will not show again the binding process because I have already shown in my earlier part. Friends, I am quite sure through this video, you have learned how to start with the serial control model of SOL 2.0. Friends, if you like this video, please subscribe our channel of ICT Cell ACLA. Thank you very much. Thank you.